Johnny, it's good to have you on the program, and I truly mean what I say. These days, if you're willing to saddle that horse and be a team owner and bring cars to the racetrack and compete in NASCAR, you got to be a lot of things, and crazy might be part of that as well. But it's great to have you on the program, my friend.
Well, it's glad to be here, Pat. But that horse ain't a horse; it's a bull lots of times, man, and it's rocking hard. But
Yeah.
But we get through it, brother. We're glad to be a part of the NASCAR family and all the people at the racetrack, man. It's a great deal, great excitement. It's never the same, never a dull moment there, man. We enjoy it.
Well, how was your Bristol? I mean, some folks leave Bristol and all they can do is cuss and shout about halfway home, and others leave Bristol and kind of wipe their forehead and go, "Man, I'm glad that's over." What category of Bristol owner are you?
Well, the 4-car with Ross Chastain and Flex Seal products on board, we did a heck of a job, I thought, for our organization. Finished 15th, no damage to the car. Rocky Ryan, the spotter, kept him out of trouble all night, and it was a good deal. Unfortunately, my 0 car broke a rear gear. We repaired it and got him back out there to finish, and the 0-1 broke a dang trailing arm. I ain't broke one of them in years. We got to research what's going on. Of course, some of our stuff's got a good many miles on it, so it just could be fatigue.
Yeah, and one thing's for sure, a place like Bristol will expose anything that's not quite right. That place, it's tough, and I don't know if the sealer helped the thing this weekend or the sealer, I should say, the track bite, if it made a big difference or it didn't. Did you have to struggle with that particular part of racing at Bristol this weekend?
No, sir, we didn't struggle with that. That people hate it, love it, whatever. It's made the racing a little better at Bristol, I think, personally, and it excites me to see the track owners do things to try and get us back to where we were once upon a time, racing neck and neck, and it was a great, exciting race. So I think it was a good thing, my opinion, sir.
Well, I think you and I chatted earlier this year, and I also think that, well, I know for a fact, Rocky and I have talked a lot and mentioned this to Ross a couple of times. If you can compete in the Xfinity Series and you can, be somewhere in that top 15 when the points are tallied up at the end of a season, I think you'd agree with me that what would make anybody's season in the Xfinity Series is to make the postseason playoffs, whether that's getting eliminated in the first round or the second round or whatever. I think everybody's goal is to make the playoffs, and you've come very close. You looking at where Ross is at point wise right now. That car has run really well this year, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, the 4-car has been outstanding this year for our dollar amount we can spend in our budgets, and it's a long shot to get in that chase, and it is a goal of ours to make that chase every year. But we have an outside chance to get in there, and we've not given up. We're doing everything this little small team can to get it there, and failure's not an option, nor is quitting an option. So we'll keep digging, and if we don't make it this year, we'll be a little disappointed, but we'll go hard at it again next year.
Johnny, what as you look big picture at where you want to go, and what's out there that can help you get where you need to go, you hate to lay it all just on sponsorship and say, well, it's nothing but dollars. And that's it. It's start and finish with that one word right there, and that's money. It's people and it's parts and it's all that stuff. How do you kind of look at it for yourself and where you're trying to go and grow, so to speak?
Well, we're growing every year, Pat. It's unfortunately what you said. We didn't need to look at money is a big key to it, but hard work and determination from the people we put around us in the shop, and we've got a tremendous group. If we need to work till 11 o'clock one night, they don't say a word. They get in there and dig, and they work till 11 o'clock to get the job done. We try not to, but I think as much as money, it's the people you put around you to get the job done. They got to have the right attitude to want to succeed for the team they're with. And the group I've got, they want to succeed at a small team. They don't want to succeed at Hendricks or Childers or those places. They want to make us grow and be successful with us. So they've bought into our program and love it, and that's what is the biggest key, the dedication from the people you put around you.
What can NASCAR do to help you? And the first thing that comes on the table here is Composite Bodies. What does that mean to Johnny Davis? I don't know what it means to Rick Hendrick might be X. What it means to Dale Jr. might be X. What it means to Kyle Busch. What does Composite Bodies mean to a Johnny Davis?
Composite Bodies to this organization means we're going to all unload with the same body. There's so much in the little areas between the templates that can be done with engineers and with their dollar amounts they spend, so it cuts out their resources to do that. This body it has identity tags in it to where you can't change them. You can't paint the back of the body, so they can't do all the tricks they used to do. So it's going to equal the playing field a little bit. It became a little more expensive than I originally thought it would be, but I'm for it. I'm still for the composite body. It's going to help level out the playing field when it comes to the aero package and the downforce on the cars. The body's really neat. We got one car almost done. We got another one we're going to start back on Monday that's got the body on it. So I'm excited about the composite body. We just got to be careful, but I think policed properly, and NASCAR's trying to do a good job at it. I think it'll help overall in the end, big picture.
I'm going to ask you this from where you sit every week as well. He's riding back to Charlotte or probably flying back, but I don't know, he might be riding back with 3 trophies this week, and NASCAR and the fans, seemingly are all in concert, want to limit the Kyle Busches of the world and what they can do in the Xfinity Series. Point blank, from a business standpoint, from an owner's standpoint, is Kyle Busch good for business or bad for business?
What is bad for business, and I'm going to get away from the name Kyle Busch a minute, is technology. The advanced technology that was handed down to the Xfinity Series through their Cup organization and research is what separated the field. If you'll remember years ago when the cars weren't that kind of technical in Cup, and they were more equal, Rob Moroso, Larry Pearson's, a lot of guys in our what was then the Busch Series won races against them drivers. Them drivers definitely have talent and more experience and are a little bit better, but when things are equal and you take technology out of our series and put it back in the hands of the drivers, there's a lot of good drivers in our series that can beat them guys. Kyle Busch started down there in our series, and it can happen. You look back at Indy, the package they put on us at Indy, it made better racing for there. It increased the finishes of a few cars because it took technology that they have in those cars that's bled down from the Cup Series out of the cars in the Xfinity Series. So NASCAR's working hard to get the playing field equal throughout the Xfinity Series, but it's a tough battle. They got a hard job ahead of them because it got so far out there before it was realized how bad it was. Would we want to outrun Kyle Busch? Yeah, I welcome Kyle Busch to be in our series as a driver. If we can get our cars to where they're all closer together, then we'll beat Kyle Busch one day. Yeah.
Johnny Davis is with us. He owns 3 Xfinity Series cars, led by the 4-car of Ross Chastain right now. All right, so let's add this to the debate. We got a composite body now. I want to hand you a crate motor. Tell me if that also would add to making what we're doing here more competitive and more fun.
I think we need to leave certain things that the manufacturers can call their own. So I would like to see the engines stay somewhat like they are with GM using their RO7 and the other manufacturers using their brand that they've created. Mm-hmm. But I would like to see rules to where we got them closer together.
How would we do that in your mind?
Same parts.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. How would we do that?
Well, cylinder heads. We can get one company to port all the cylinder heads. It's all done with a CNC machine. It's not that expensive. We can come up with a lift rule with some pistons, some specs on the parts. Mm-hmm. Right now, we don't have any specs on the parts, and the only difference in a Cup engine and an Xfinity engine is the RPMs that'll turn, so they got a little different cam shape in them. The valve train's the same. The rockers are the same. Everything's identical in the engines. So if we spec'd our parts to a little different part, let's say piston rings for one and pistons, they can design a piston that we can run in this engine that won't accept rings that are exotic and cost a lot of money. Mm-hmm. And then we can still keep ECR, Hendricks, and those guys in business rebuilding our engines. And they still haven't lost their motor business. You do a crate engine or that other deal that's floating around out there like Arca's doing, mm-hmm. It's not a bad deal. It's a good, but it's controlled by one person. I'm a firm believer when you have one person controlling your destiny, we all can fail, and I don't think we need that.
Okay. Is there anything else, Johnny, when you look down the list of the expense side, when you think about what the composite body does for you and maybe, as you just said, speccing out some of the engine components to begin with, is there anything else that's missing from the equation right now from where you sit?
Not really. We've tremendously done a lot with what we have, and we're every day trying to figure out what we can do to save dollars. NASCAR's having a meeting this week, and I got invited to it, and we're all sitting down as owners trying to figure out how we can save ourselves some money. They've got some plans they want to put out in front of us and get our opinions. So now more than ever, we're all trying to work together to figure out a way to cut costs and keep everybody going. So I'm real excited about that. Maybe we should talk again after that meeting this week and see what we've come up with or what we think we're floating around, But everybody's working hard. We all got to figure out how to keep each other in business, and I continue to tell them to remember, when you do things that'll help me save money, it is for sure going to help the front end of the garage save money.
Yeah, no, there's no question about that. And I guess maybe one last thing to consult with you about a little bit is just from a schedule standpoint. I know that this time of the year when we start going to Watkins Glen and then, obviously Bristol's here in the middle, and you got Mid-Ohio and Road America and so forth. I mean, some of these places we're going, are a long way from where, you build and house everything. That's the first thing. But the second thing is that, road racing has become much more of a chore for everybody that has to be done. Is the schedule the way we have it right now an optimal schedule for guys that are trying to do what you're trying to do?
It's a hard schedule this year, and in the past few years, having, I think, 20-something races in a row. That's hard on a small team. I think if you look at next year's schedule, I think we got a break in the middle of that, so they've helped us a little bit there. That will be a big help, just getting a week to breathe in the middle of that long stretch next year. So it's hard, it's tough. These have been, the last few weeks have been the weeks that the small teams had to work all the extra hours to get everything converted and back and forth and get done. But, it's part of the business. We all signed up for it. They worked on it, I think, and they got it better for next year. But, hey, man, I wouldn't do anything else. It beats going to Walmart or McDonald's for work every day.
No, I got all that, and they don't. While I could probably get the blue light special announcing going. I'm not real interested in that job if I can stay away from it. Last thing too, and that is just from the getting people to spend money standpoint, just from the sponsorship standpoint. I know you got a huge effort getting these cars back and forth each week and so forth, and you mentioned Flex Seal and some of these other folks that have been helping. Are you seeing, Johnny, people a little more receptive to, those phone calls and maybe a little, I mean, the stock market's doing well right now, but who knows what that means overall. But you know what I'm saying? Is the sponsorship thing going okay right now in terms of the conversations you're having?
I mean, we're having conversations. We're finding ways to create some sponsorship. What we have now is people don't just want to see their name on the side of your race car. They want you to prove to them a return on their investment in your race team. So you put more packages together. We've got a tremendous package going on with Melon One out of Georgia, Florida area with the Florida Watermelons Growing Association, where we can use watermelons as an advertising tool for them in grocery stores too. And that's what you got to do. You got to put things together with other venues now and show them a good return on their investment other than just putting their name on your race car and putting out press releases. And with Ross Chastain and his family, Melon One, his father, Ralph's Watermelon Farms, we've been able to put some packages together for Delaware and New York that were successful and do show cars and promotions for them. And that's what it takes now. It's not just putting it on a race car. You got to have something to go along with it. And anymore, if you get $100,000 out of somebody, you got to show them a $300,000 return on investment and make it good. And that's something we've been successful with that program and going to continue on.
Well, let me see if I can do this now. I got another guy on another telephone line right now that just called in, and I don't know if he just woke up or he's riding down the road or something. But you mentioned Rocky Ryan just a second ago, and what a good job he did. He must have heard you because he decided to dial into the program right now. Brandon, can you put Rocky up at the same time? Rocky, are you on the line? Did you want to tell Johnny something here this morning, like thanks for your job or anything like that?
I actually didn't hear that, so I'm probably calling in to ask him to please repeat it, and I'll turn the recorder on so I got a tape of it.
Johnny, I think he wants you to say something good about him on the radio so everybody can hear it at the same time, or that he can record it. Maybe that's what he's trying to do.
There you go. Well, I hate he missed it, but he done a good job this weekend keeping Ross out of any trouble. That car has no damage on it. I think somebody got in the left rear one little time. I mean, it can be fixed in an hour. So to leave Bristol unscathed with any body damage, no wheel marks or nothing, the spotter done a great job. And to have a 15th place finish, I mean, it was an excellent day for our little team.
Oh, we'll never get his head to get back down to regular size now, Rocky. Look at him making you feel good, right?
It's a good thing you don't have to put a helmet on, right?
Well, I appreciate that, boss man. I'll turn the recorder off now, and I'll keep that for the next time we do run into somebody.
There you go. Remember what I did for you at Bristol, right? Yeah. That's good. Hey, look, Johnny, I'll keep jawing with Rocky here a minute, but I'll let you go. I sure appreciate you coming on the program, and man, I can't say it loud enough, and I mean this when I say it. If it wasn't for people like you stepping up, bringing cars to the racetrack, trying to make it all work week in and week out, this is, it's like you said, it's not saddling a horse, it's wrestling a bull most every week. And thank you for doing that, because we need cars on the racetrack and we need people with dreams and goals, and it's good that you have both.
Yes, sir, and I'm proud for you to have me on this show, and I look forward to any time I get to talk to you, Pat, and enjoy what I do, man. I love the NASCAR family and all the hype around it, and it's a great deal, and we're going to be back on top of the world as the number one sports organization again before it's over with.
Attaboy. I like it. All right, Johnny,
Thank
you very much, and we'll let you go.